Hey guys, this is Nod Lammers, welcome back, and today we're taking a look at the updated Dark Magician deck. This is the Dark Magician deck that you can build post-DUPO, and this is the way that I see Dark Magician being built out of DUPO. I'm actually using stuff from Gara of Benton YGO's case that he hasn't picked up today, so I was like, you know what, he hasn't picked it up yet, I'm gonna use it to make a Dark Magician deck. So I updated my Dark Magician deck using it, and I honestly think that this is pretty cool. It's just a quick little update to it, so if you guys want to know or get some ideas on how to build this deck coming straight out of DUPO, this is how I see it moving forward. Anyways, real quick, there's a link to our Discord in the description if you guys want to check us out on there. Our general chat is open for the public, and then of course we also have our Patreon down there. Everything you give us on there goes right back into the deck profiles. But with that out of the way, we're going to move the spells and traps and the extra deck out of the way. Let's talk about the monsters, and of course, let's zoom in just a little bit. And the first monster, of course, is Magician of Chaos. So this is the new Magician, Dark Magician Ritual monster. It says you can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. If this ritual summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Chaos or Blacklist Soldier ritual monster from your hand except Magician of Chaos, ignoring summoning conditions. So basically it just summons a ritual monster for free that you can't revive, and then you can revive this with Eternal Soul. Triggers Black Magic Circle. So this is a pretty dope card. It has 25-21, so, and it's a level 7, which is pretty dope. But I'm not running like Chaos Max or anything like that. But of course we are playing the triple Chaos form. This is searchable off of Magician's Rod, which is pretty cool. So if you open this guy and Magician's Rod, then you can use this, and then you can search it, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so that's it for the new monsters. Just that stuff. That's all the new stuff for the monster lineup right now, because the rest of it is just like, you know, standard. My 3 different Dark Magicians that people like to complain about, but yeah, so the 3 different ones, you got to play 3 Dark Magician, 3 Apprentice Illusion, because she's the best card. She's like an honest and discards a card to summon herself. Searches this guy, which is pretty amazing. Magician's Rod, really the only normal summon of the deck now. Just being able to search any Dark Magician spell or trap, which is pretty insane, and then also has loops by attributing stuff, and it's pretty awesome. And then 2 of this guy. This guy's pretty awesome. Summons himself when a trap is activated, kind of almost like a multi-faker, and then he's also Dark Magician on the field, and if you don't control Dark Magician when a spell or trap is activated, you can special summon one from the graveyard. So pretty cool card. But that's the monster lineup. I don't change my monster lineup too much. There is another monster in the deck, but he's with some other cards. So that's it for the monsters. So let's talk about the spells. We have 3 Magic Gate of Miracles. I'm gonna move this. 3 Magic Gate of Miracles. So this card is like a Spellcaster Snatch Steal. This thing is pretty cool. So what it says if you control 2 or more spellcasters, change one attack position monster your opponent controls the defense position, then take control of it, and if you do, it cannot be destroyed by battle. So they don't get it back, you take it permanently. It's pretty awesome. I think this card is pretty dope, especially in this deck when you can like Magician's Navigation and then activate this and just steal something from your opponent, link it away for whatever you might need it for. It's a pretty good card, and I figured that since it came out in DUPO, might as well play it. And then we run our standard Dark Magician stuff. We have our Dark Magic Pot of Duality, essentially, where you look at the top 3, pick a Dark Magician card, and then when Dark Magician is special summoned or is summoned to the field, you can banish a card your opponent controls. 2 Inheritance, which is just banish 2 spells and then search a Dark Magician spell. It's kind of like a Magician's Rod, but spell card. Dark Magic Monster Reborn, pay 1,000 to reborn a Dark Spellcaster. Tribute a Spellcaster to add a Dark Magician to add up to 2 Dark Magicians from deck or graveyard to your hand. Harpy's Feather Duster if you control Dark Magician. And then Eye of Timaeus. So I actually did think about bumping this up to 2. But the issue came around that I don't have a second Eye of Timaeus. I just have the 1 ultra rare, so I couldn't bump it up to 2, which I definitely would have if I had it. But yeah, the spell lineup, like Dark Magicians are a really simple deck. They're not super amazing. Like they're not. It's not super different with the stuff from DUPO unless you want to play a Dark Magician Girl variant, but that variant's not very good. So which is why I'm doing this version. And then for the spellbook engine, 1 blue boy to search the spellbooks. 2 secrets to search the other spellbooks, and 2 knowledge to draw cards. So that's the spellbook engine. Still playing this. This becomes pot of greed with the other Dark Magician, the one that's not Magician of Chaos or Dark Magician. It's the trap, the one that summons itself when you activate a trap. Because you summon him and Dark Magician, you activate this, tribute the Dark Magician, draw 2, and then he specials back Dark Magician. It's a pretty dope little combo. And then we have our traps. I know I kind of blew through this deck profile really quickly, but that's because I've done Dark Magician plenty of times, and it doesn't take a whole lot. So 3 Eternal Soul, this card is like, it really is the heart and soul of the deck, like no pun intended. Its effect is that Dark Magician you control is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, but if it gets destroyed, then all your monsters you currently control get destroyed as well. And then it has 2 once per turn effects, and you only get to use 1 each turn, and that is Special Summon Dark Magician from hand or grave, and then or add 1 Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives from the deck to the hand. So that's pretty dope. Just searching, getting Dark Magician on the field. It's awesome. And as well as getting Dark Magician on the field, we play 2 Magician's Navigation. So what this says is that special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand, then special summon 1 level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck, and so it summons 2 spellcasters, and they can both be level 7. And then it has another effect, which is if you control Dark Magician, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card, then target 1 face-up spell or trap your opponent controls, has its effects negated until the end of the turn. So that's pretty dope. And you can chain this to stuff like Monster Reborn and stuff like that, kind of like how D&D Siegfried used to work, which is pretty dope. That's really it for the main deck. Like, I've done this deck profile a few times, so like I think everyone kind of knows how this deck functions, but and then we have one of the new cards. Actually, my extra deck is all jacked up. Give me like 2 seconds. Boom. Okay. So the new card is Dark Cavalry, and he looks really weird on the viewfinder. So this is Dark Cavalry. It's a fusion of Dark Magician and a Warrior monster. I believe it's a level 8. Yep. And 28, 23. So his effect is gains 100 attack for each spell or trap card on the field and in the graveyards. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card on the field, quick effect, you can discard 1 card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So this is kind of like a buffed version of Dark Paladin, but oddly enough, it looks like Dark Magician with Gaia the Fierce Knight, which is really strange since it seems to be a buffed version of Paladin. And speaking of Dark Paladin, we also play 1 copy of him. Dark Paladin's effect is it needs Dark Magician and Buster Blader. Of course, we're not summoning them with the standard polymerization. We're using Eye of Timaeus. And then his effect is that he gains like 100 attack, or right? What is it? He has really tiny text and mine's really old. He gets 500 attack for each dragon in either player's graveyard, and then I think it's like you discard spell cards to negate stuff, which is pretty awesome. And then we have the last fusion monster that Dark Magician got, which was Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, which is Dark Magician and Dragon monster. He becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, and then its effect is your opponent cannot target spells or traps you control card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. On top of that, it's 3,000. So this guy is more so like a tech choice, not a tech choice, what is it? Just a beater to protect your back row. Because what you can do is you can turn him into either of these 2 and then use Eternal Soul to bring him back. That's it for the fusions, and realistically, if you have a second Eye of Timaeus, I recommend playing it just because the fusions have become more viable now. Then we have 2 Xyz monsters of Ebon Illusion. So Ebon Illusion has the effect to detach and then summon a normal spellcaster from your hand or deck. And then when a normal spellcaster declares an attack, you can banish a card your opponent controls, which is pretty good. This guy is awesome. And then honestly used to be the boss monster of Dark Magicians, which, it's insane. And then 1 big eye, this guy's basically Dark Magician. If you took the 100 that he had on his defense and added it to his attack points, he's a Dark Spellcaster, level 7, rank 7, and Big Eye steals a monster. You detach a material, steal a monster, but Big Eye can't attack. And then we have Red Eye's Flare Metal for burn damage. We have Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. What you do is you slap this on top of a rank 6 or 5 that has no materials, and then he has piercing damage. I say that has no materials. You can slap him on top of a rank 5 instantly, but usually you want to save it until it has no materials. And then for the rank 6, we have Norito. This does come up, and Norito's effect is once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can detach a material, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So he's just a negate if you happen to get out 2 Apprentice Illusion Magicians, which happens. And then on top of that, the last card we have is 1 Break Sword, because it does happen where you get 2 rods on the field and you're just able to Xyz into a Break Sword to pop something. And last but not least, 1 Decode Talker. This is kind of what you can make if you use, if you grab the Magic Gate of Miracles, you can turn the monsters into this. I'm not saying you have to. You can also run something like Underclock Taker for the shrinking ability. You could run whatever you want that's generic. I think Beat Cop is new and she's generic, so you could use that. It's just one of the cards that I put in here. But with that all said and done, that's it for Dark Magicians. Man, this deck is pretty interesting. Dark Magician's getting more support. I think there's another card that they're getting. It's like a, it's Magician of Black Chaos Max. I think he's coming out soon, which is pretty cool and interesting to see. I think he has a pretty decent effect as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does for the deck and what it sounds like. It sounds like he's in the Megatons. So, interested to see what the deck looks like once I get my hands on him. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys thought about this deck in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.